living in a digital age that affects every aspect of our everyday lives. The internet has opened up and expanded our physical world to the virtual world. This has presented unique challenges, dangers, and threats, particularly as it relates to our children at home, at school, and in their everyday lives.
There are many individuals and organizations like mine that work tirelessly to try to prevent child abuse and neglect. We're able to be effective most of the time when we have the resources to help children and families, because we know that most of the perpetrators of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse are people well known to children. That's not necessarily the case when we talk about internet crimes against children. In that case, perfect strangers can come into the homes and the lives of children and have a very serious impact. And it's been my experience that often children are much more tech savvy than their parents. So some of that monitoring is very difficult for parents. And we're working, as are others, to try to educate parents in how they can protect their children.
It's a whole new world out there in the schools. It used to be that bullying was out in the open. Kids picked on each other in the playground, had fights, but now there's cyberbullying. Kids are hiding on the internet, tormenting and victimizing other kids. So what do we need to do about this? Number one, we've got to educate parents. Number two, we've got to get parents to talk to their kids about this issue. They need to share the dangers of cyberbullying. The attacks on children have been devastating, leading some even to suicide. We've got to encourage parents and their kids to report incidents of cyberbullying to law enforcement. This is all of our problem. Our whole community needs to pull together to let cyberbullies know we're not going to let them keep hiding on the internet and victimizing our kids.
The Sacramento Sheriff's Department is one of 5 regional task forces in California that receive cyber tips from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. What types of crimes are we seeing? We have sexting, where we've got a child versus child or child versus adult sending sexually explicit images or content to one another. Then we have sextortion, where a child will send a partially nude photograph to a suspect. The suspect will ask for more photographs, and if the child declines, the suspect will send any images that the child already took to all of their friends on Facebook, possibly causing potential suicide. A lot of our teenagers, they themselves are becoming suspects, possibly by receiving images from their girlfriend, sending them to a friend of a friend, or posting them onto fake social media accounts. The Sacramento Sheriff's Department, along with the Sacramento District Attorney's Office, need to work together to educate our communities, our families, our parents, our teachers, and our children with age-appropriate material, and as they get older, we need to continue to give them more information.
Over the last several years, the District Attorney's Office has seen an explosion of cases involving the internet. They range from such things as child abuse, gang activity, human trafficking, and even murder cases. Kids are not just victims of crime through the use of the internet, but we're also seeing children becoming offenders through the use of the internet and entering the juvenile justice system as a result of using things that are associated with social media.
My name is Mark Klass, and I'm the president of the Klass Kids Foundation. The Klass Kids Foundation was founded in the aftermath of the kidnap and murder of my 12-year-old daughter, Polly Klass. I'm very proud of the work that the Klass Kids Foundation has done, but nothing that we've accomplished has ever been accomplished in a vacuum. We need really good cops on the street and cops online that are able to do the investigative work to be able to bring these individuals in. We need great prosecutors that understand that people that say they're going to cause harm to children very likely will cause harm to children, and if they haven't already, they have to be dealt with in an effective way. We need corrections departments that are going to ensure that these individuals stay in prison where they belong, and we need government officials to support these kinds of policies. So really, we need an approach that's going to include kids, their families, their communities, their infrastructure, their law enforcement, their prosecutors, their elected officials, and I think that's how we have to address this problem.
I hope today starts a conversation and future partnerships so that we can work together to protect our children from the dangers that they face from the internet and social media.